Hey everyone, it's Heather Ludsey here. How are you? Hey, today we are going to talk about our theme for this week is how to hire a search marketing expert. I know it might sound self-serving, but it's really not. I speak to companies all over the country who have hired SEO firms, search engine marketing firms, digital marketing firms, and I can tell you there's just some key critical things to think about when you're hiring a webmaster or a digital marketing consultant. Number one is don't put your website onto a proprietary system, meaning they have created the code. It's only their baby. You can't touch the baby. So make sure that, and if you fall out with that designer, what are you going to do? You're going to have to start all over again. So make sure that they're doing it in something like WordPress or Wix or Squarespace, so you can actually go in there and make changes if you have to fire that guy, which happens, unfortunately, more than it should. The next one is make sure you own your domain and that they didn't set it up under their login. So a lot of times, if you hire a digital agency, they might buy the domain and then put it and register it in their name, which is a no-no. And I've seen this a bunch of times. So make sure the domain is registered to you, not to them. Another thing is to keep in mind is that all the images on your website, who owns those images? Does the website design company own them or do you own them? So very important distinction. You can use a website like Shutterstock or iStock. Make sure you purchase the full license off of those. Never use images from Google Images. Promise me, never ever use any images from Google Images, because you don't know, even with the proper settings turned on, you don't really know if those are yours to use. And I'd hate for Getty or some other entity to come back to you and slap you with a $10,000 bill. That's never a good day. Some of the other things to think about hiring a web developer is making sure that you have the logins to your hosting account. A lot of times when you're working with multiple providers, they all have your logins. So if you end a relationship with a web company, make sure you immediately go in and delete all of your, or not delete, but change all of your passwords to all of your major entities, including all of your social media. So if they've had access to all those, remove their administrative rights right away. And also make sure that all of your social media is set up and your email address is associated with all those social media accounts. I had a client actually who had an employee leave. He had set up all their social media in his personal Gmail account. So we had to hold his final check for him to come in and reassign all of those social media sites to the company's email address. So be super careful with that. Now, in my copy of my marketing espionage book, I have a chapter in here called How to Hire and Fire a Web Company. And if you'd like a copy of my book, please make sure to email heather@findability.com and we'll send you a couple of these bad boys by mail. We'll go old school. We'll send them by mail. And then you can start to school up not only on your findability strategies, but also how to protect yourself online. So make sure that when you're working with web developers, it's not all going to be romance like it is in the beginning. The average turnover rate for a search engine marketing company is 1 year. And I think it's because there's such a massive amount of misunderstanding around what the heck are they doing. So if that web development company or that digital marketing company can't explain to you the reports they give you, then maybe that's not the right relationship, because it's not about the report. It's about the success of driving traffic to your site. And if that cannot be tracked, then that's a big problem. And a lot of SEO companies, they'll give you a big, huge report as a validation of their work. And it's really not a validation, in that it's not how many keywords you rank for. It's which keywords that rank give you the most amount of traffic to your site. So keep in mind that it's not about you rank for 100,000 keywords in first position. You know, half or more of those keywords may never get searched. You very easily can rank under a phrase that no one ever searches for. So be careful with that. Make sure that you have an open communication with your dev team, that they need to speak plain English, non-programmer speak to you, so you understand what you're getting, what you can expect month over month, as well as how to judge results. What in your mind is a significant indicator of success? Is it phone calls? Is it emails? Is it social media shares and followers? You've got to know what target you're trying to hit. And if you think contact us is an offer, it is not. It is a sales call. Now we have to have the contact us button there. I get it. But that's probably the last thing that you want to fill out when you go to a website, because you're like, if I fill out that contact form, I am going to get an immediate sales call. And remember, we hate to be sold, but we love to buy. So it's very important that you say schedule a discovery call, schedule a discovery call to speak to an expert, talk to the authority. Make sure it's not just contact us when they get to your website. And maybe your web developers can come up with things that you can download that will then start an engagement with them. Maybe like a leadpages.com or a kajabi.com. There's lots of these websites out there that will create a landing page that will give them a gift and then get you their email address. Now, when you're working with a web development team or a digital marketing team, you want to make sure that you create a list. And the list is going to have the very specific needs that you need from that agency. Not what the agency is going to give to you, but what you need from the agency. Super important. And if that initial meeting is very strategic, they're talking very high, big numbers, all the competitors are huge marketplace players, then that's most likely not your perfect agency. You want to match up your business model and your people with an agency that understands that group. If you don't do that, not only going to get a huge price tag every month, but it's going to be harder and harder to track the performance and the success of what they're doing for you, because they're used to working with huge clients with huge budgets. That may not be you. So when you're looking at comparing digital marketing and SEO agencies, make sure that you're matched with someone that knows that they work with your target audience, and they also understand the metrics that you want to get out of the relationship with them. And unfortunately, if the relationship does end, make sure to immediately go in, change all the passwords to everything that you gave them access to. And also make sure before you fire them or let them know you're firing them, make sure to get an all-time report from their activity so you can take that with you to your next web developer. Then you let them know that, unfortunately, the agreement's going to end. So hopefully this has been helpful. Make sure to watch our social media channels for tidbits all week about how you can work with a web developer and establish a wonderful, profitable relationship with them. Thanks so much for following, and we'll see you on our next video. Bye-bye.